that sound, it means it's time for Bad Movies Rule, the worst movie podcast ever recorded. And today, slap the nearest jukebox. We've got another unauthorized mission to fly on Iron Eagle 3.
Iron Eagle 3, baby.
All right.
Hey, this is the first time I've heard the new music on the show. It's awesome. Well, I've been on it. Awesome.
Right off the bat.
Thank you for
we
whoever
don't
made
know
it.
what that sound is.
Yes.
And we're not fake head
Is
bobbing
this our
today.
first time we've used it?
No, last episode was, but none of you were here for that.
I heard
so.
it. I heard it.
Yeah,
No, I'm glad.
first
I'm honored to be hearing it the first time live.
There you go. I didn't want to spoil it for you.
I felt like we should have started with the jukebox slap.
I know. I think
Bam.
we should have one right back here so we can just...
Every Iron Eagle movie is at least passable if Chappy slaps a jukebox.
Just slap the board. We just got to get the board
right.
set up to
Just-
slap it, and we're
I don't know if James would like it. He kind of loves his board.
What if we started every episode if we had a jukebox back here and we slap it,
Slapped
and that's
it.
how the
And then
music starts?
That would be
That-
awesome.
I don't know if Iron Eagle deserves
That's
that.
a really
praise.
That's a really thin.
We got a lot of bad movies we
It's not
honor in
just-
this thing. If we do all of them, we're
or
just
it
going to
could
be
be a
covered with
Fonzie.
crap.
Or it could be a Fonzie and you slap
Yeah.
it to end the
Right.
episode.
Oh, to end it. There you go.
Hey, there you go.
Well, just so you guys know what to expect from Bad Movies Rule, we have all the time, and this is why I want to take a moment to clarify this, because lately it seems to be increasing. All the time we get people, whether it's on YouTube or on any of our like podcast apps, or they email the show and they'll see we're doing a movie like, let's say, Roadhouse, and they'll go, "That's not a bad movie. What do you..." Like, they just see it on our show. They see the title of our show and they think we're already making a declaration of quality.
No, of course not.
No, first of all, it says rule. Okay, so if you get defensive about the thing being on here,
right.
it's Bad Movies Rule.
So
Are
there's an
awesome.
option.
We literally enjoy watching these bad movies.
Right, and we don't know if it's bad. It's on here because someone said it's bad. Either the audience score is low, the critic score is low, or it bombed at the box office, was terrible. And so we are trying to figure out if those people are right.
And occasionally we even say the movies are good.
Yeah.
Straight up, legit
has happened.
good.
So settle down.
So settle down.
It's going to happen today.
Calm down.
Settle
people.
down.
Are people angry? Are we
I mean, I don't know if they're angry.
I don't know.
But I feel like the name of our show has caused some
Oh, I
challenges
see.
for people.
Well, you got to read the whole thing. You have to get past bad movies.
Everybody's angry right now.
Rule.
I
You
think-
have to get to the rule part.
That's right.
Let's read
I think
the
that what
entire
it
thing.
is that people wake up in the morning, they hit the internet, and they're like, "I'm not done until I get to tell somebody to F
Yes.
off." And they look at it like, "Oh, that's not a bad movie. F you."
Let's get to the vitals of the movie here because we've got to get through a lot of nonsense to get to the gold. And there is gold nuggets to be found.
There's always some.
Iron Eagle. Well, there's nuggets
Sometimes
anyway.
nuggets.
Well, they're nuggets. Yeah.
I did laugh out loud a few times in this movie.
Oh,
I guess
good.
we'll
good.
determine what kind of nuggets they are.
The movie was directed by John Glenn. Now-
Space astronaut.
guy.
Mowed
Astronaut.
this. Oh,
not that
I'm so disappointed. I
No.
thought he directed and wrote. I could just picture the astronaut and the senator.
Well,
doing
then it
this.
might have been Iron Eagle, like
42.
astronauts. Or something.
Astronauts.
Yeah.
Iron Eagle 3.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say before I talk about John Glenn that I noticed in the step was a step up, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong. A big step up in production value from 2 to 3.
Yes.
It
did
looks
seem like
beautiful,
it.
Right?
It looks better than the original.
It looks
I
like
would agree.
still kind of looked like 1965, but it definitely
Competent?
was better.
Yeah.
Well, that's because John Glenn is a veteran action director. He directed 5 James Bond movies.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
So this is the same guy that directed Octopussy, View to a Kill, Living Daylights, License to Kill, and I think Only Had Eyes for You. So 3 of the Roger
Wow.
Moores and 2 Timothy Dalton Bond movies.
Can I just admit, Octopussy always makes me giggle a little.
But you could tell there was a
Why,
competent.
Chuck?
I don't know. It's
From
got
that
cat
standpoint,
in the
yes.
name.
What was he doing directing Iron Eagle 3 then?
No, well, that's the question, right?
He owed somebody.
Yeah, seriously, what happened? He did
They
too
had
much
to-
cocaine
They had
and
to move
needed
all
to
that
do.
cocaine.
You know,
This movie, I'm going to say it right now. This movie is ripe for Bob.
yes.
We need Bob
you know what?
at the kids' table here on this one because we've got cocaine by the tonnage.
We do.
We've got chicks for no reason, and then we've got
Right.
prostitutes later. It's
Yeah.
it is
There's
fantastic.
a lot of
This is-
prostitutes.
Bob is currently
So
on a
no, I
cruise,
actually have an
so-
answer to this.
Yes.
Here's exactly why. I actually believe that this was a drug enforcement agency public service movie, and probably John Glenn got caught with some cocaine, and they're like, "Hey, we need to do this movie, and we need you
So
to
you're
write
saying all the
and
product
direct."
was real?
Really?
Yeah.
No, but there are people that are like celebrities have had to do like anti-drug PSAs as part
This
of
is
their
his
sentencing.
PSA, and they're like, "This is the best PSA ever.
Okay.
And no, that's why DEA was so huge and all their
all that
hats.
stuff.
Really?
And DEA was good in this. They were good guys in this movie.
I thought it was just a ripoff of Air American Rambo. I mean, that makes a lot
This
more
was
sense.
a ripoff of Three Amigos. Something else.
It's Miss Rambo, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Miss Rambo.
Miss
yeah.
Rambo.
Yeah, so
was
we'll talk about
Johnette
that.
Rambo.
The movie starred Lou Gossett Jr., of course,
Of
because
course.
it's an Iron Eagle
Chappy.
movie.
Has to.
Rachel McLish is who you guys just
She's
referenced.
no. It's Rachel McDish.
McDish. Is that what it is?
My daughter
you a
said,
fan?
"Why is that woman so ripped?" After
Yeah, I
I had
called her-
just written,
she's
that
like
woman
Lady-
is ripped.
Lady Rambo, Lady Arnold.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
do
exactly what they were trying to do
Yes.
because you could even tell from the cover art on
Yeah.
the box that she's
Seriously.
in the Rambo pose.
Right.
Did you know her in the past and you're trying to reconnect, Chuck?
I did not know her, but my daughter was with me in the room when she first showed up, and we both were like, "What the heck is going on there?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "She was a Miss Olympia, which I believe is some sort of
yeah.
weightlifting
Well, that's
or
the same thing
bodybuilding
that Arnold did,
competition."
but just
You did some
the girl
research.
version. Yeah.
It was hard to do research. Let's be honest. IMDb is missing a lot of details
For
on
this movie, yes.
We could fill in a lot lot of crap details for
There you
them.
go.
And people from generations on would believe what we wrote.
Another WTF.
It's on the internet. It's true.
It's true.
For me, another WTF moment was when Sonny Chiba showed up in this movie, who's just like a very prestigious actor
Which one is he?
from Japan.
Oh, he
Oh,
was
yeah.
Sue.
Yeah, he's done all kinds of classic, incredible
Yes.
movies, and I'm like,
And he was good.
what is Sonny Chiba doing in this movie?
Kamikaze run.
And
with that too.
Fred
Yeah,
Thompson.
Yeah, to do the
Fred
yeah,
Thompson,
was in
Senator
it.
Thompson's in there.
And the guy from Indiana Jones and the Raiders Ark.
Paul Freeman.
And he's an
Belloc.
actual Nazi. I think it's actually Belloc in this movie.
It might as well be.
I think it
it was the same wardrobe in one scene. I was like, I swear
Yes.
he wore that in Raiders.
They put him back together.
They had to budget.
They rewound that film and used him prior to face melting.
The script was written by Kevin Elders, who wrote Iron Eagle 1 and 2. So at least the writer's the same, consistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
The budget for this movie was $13.5 million.
They got a lot. They got their money worth.
They got their.
Do you think so?
I do.
Because they made $2.5 million
Well, 'cause the movie's-
in the box.
I mean, 13 doesn't
That's
seem like a
because
lot
Iron
for a
Eagle
movie.
2 was terrible.
I know, but imagine
mean-
spending 13 and getting 1.
Half of that
But
goes
look at
to
how much
Lou
cocaine they
and
moved.
Fred.
That was real. That was an actual.
You know what? You're
real-
probably
See,
right
that's
about
the
that.
thing.
We talked
The-
about money laundering.
Right.
You guys talked about money
The
laundering
stats-
on this show.
The stats aren't taken into account the cocaine that was moved in this movie. So with that, they probably
No,
broke even.
It's just a movie prop.
It's true. Yeah, exactly.
just like the Kool-Aid,
John Glenn was
the hydraulic Kool-Aid they
Yeah,
dumped out.
it's like, hey, that is definitely hydraulic fluid colored water.
The movie currently sits at a 3.7 on IMDb. Yeesh. And 14% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 24% audience score.
It's bad.
And then
So,
it said 78% of people liked this.
Huh? Bad movie.
Bad movie.
Okay, we haven't said it
Definition.
yet. You don't know if I think it's a bad
That's
movie.
right. You don't know.
But the people do, and the critics do, and the theater-going public said, nope. No,
Did
thank
this
you.
go to the theaters?
Yeah,
Yes.
it
Yeah.
did. Not for very long.
Yeah. 92.
It didn't even clear the weekend. They pulled it Saturday.
I was probably a freshman-ish in high school in 92.
Well, look, we appreciate that you guys are here joining us today for Iron Eagle 3. If you could do us a huge favor, we're trying to grow the podcast. It's been just incredible, the growth we've seen over the last year. The biggest way, if you want to help support the show, it's a free way that you can help support the show, is if you just take this episode or another episode that you enjoyed. If you're like, I'm not sure, this episode might suck, you can go back to one of your other ones you enjoyed and send it to a friend. So word of mouth is the biggest thing for podcasts. And yeah, posting it on your socials is awesome. If you want to do that, it's great. But nothing beats a direct message saying, here, you've got to listen to this. Check this out. We would really appreciate if you guys could do that for us. It'd be a huge help. If you want to interact with the show, there's all kinds of ways you can do that. You can email us. So you can be maybe featured on one of our mailbag episodes. Our email address is thisshowIstrash@gmail.com. In the first 10 minutes, we've already proven that to be true. thisshowIstrash@gmail.com. If you'd like a more VIP experience, you can go to Patreon, and there we have all kinds of bonus content for as little as $3 a month. You could see extra recordings and videos, or you can vote on upcoming episodes, all kinds of things on there. It's patreon.com/badmoviesrule. You can jump on there as well. Otherwise, we're on all the socials. Find us, connect with us. We interact with people as much as we can. We want this to be a community of people centered around crappy, hilarious movies.
Yes.
So thank you guys for watching.
I think that while we do this part, there should be like pictures of like sad puppies and stuff in the background.
Oh,
Like no,
Yeah.
Jamie's
We
kids
need that.
like not having
Yeah.
stuff because
Yeah, that's
he's
right.
spending all his money to decorate this place because it is
Yes.
gorgeous,
It is
man.
really
You guys
nice.
don't get to see the entry.
Wait, Will Patton's not handy. We can't patent anybody.
Oh, no.
No,
We've got
he's
that.
there. Don't worry. I've
he's
got
around.
something
I
planned
see
for Will
something
Patton.
planned.
He's overwatching the entirety of the proceedings here. Last thing I do want to mention is you can also go to our website, badmoviesrule.com. Sign up for our email newsletter because we'll notify you about new episodes, but we also send out a monthly newsletter with all kinds of fun stuff in there. And Ryan Mueller is going to write the whole thing next month, so it'd be really exciting for him to do that. And he just found out now.
I was
that
just
he's
going to
doing
say, is that just am I going to get
This just
drafted
in.
next show I'm on? I may not show up anymore.
No. Once a month we're gonna have a little blurb in the newsletter. Once a month we're gonna have a little blurb in the newsletter written by a different person from the show. All right, let's start with the plot for this movie. And the plot is, what the hell does even matter anyway? Honestly, I mean, that is really what it is. Okay, Chappy is he still active military? I
Yes.
couldn't figure that out.
yes.
Okay, he's active
Colonel.
military.
He's a colonel.
Well, he's active at the mess hall. He's not active at his PT.
He spends his days performing in these air shows.
Which were awesome.
That was. Yeah,
I
that
can
was
tell
pretty
you
cool.
that's the problem these guys have had the whole time. Those jets are too fast. They just can't film them because they nailed it on this
Yeah,
one.
they
I mean,
certainly
like
did.
the plane action was great.
And they're really, really
Big step up.
fortunate that
Huge.
the bad guys, which is an interesting question how they had jets, had apparently really slow jets.
They
too.
were really slow jets.
They tiled them back.
They were RC models. That's how
Yeah.
they did that.
Yeah.
But basically, they're playing in these air shows. They're playing like dogfighting paintball.
Yeah, that
right?
was awesome.
Like World War II dogfight.
Really,
paintball,
probably
yeah.
bad idea. But
Is that a real thing?
No one would shoot those airplanes with paintball.
That'd be awesome. First of all, I'm like, hold on, this is gonna be the most expensive hobby of all time, right?
Yes.
Well, obviously,
Well-
because, like the guy even alludes to it.
Stockman.
They did, yeah.
Stockman's got it going. Apparently, he's a well guy.
Stockman's the one that bankrolls these
Rich Texan.
Air show.
these air
Yeah,
shows.
he's an oil guy or something.
And where they shoot, it's basically like a Civil War reenactment, but with World War II,
War II.
planes,
Yeah.
right?
P-38, a Spitfire. Those were actually legit. The BF-109 was actually a modified P-51.
Okay,
Right.
And the Zero was actually a modified T-6 Texan. But it was used in the movie Tora Tora Tora. Which
Okay, so but 2 of the 4 planes were legit.
legit. But
Okay.
there's not a lot of Zeros flying, so give them a
Right.
pass on that.
What
Yeah.
happened to them all?
BF-109, yeah, they got shot down.
Too soon?
The BF,
Down there.
the BF,
happened to him? He's still talking crap 70 years later.
and you like how I answered him because I didn't get the joke that fast?
He's
Yeah.
like, why don't you go ask those guys
Yeah.
where they're all at?
Yeah. I don't know. Probably the same thing happened to BF-109s, but yeah.
Basically,
But either way, that would be an awesome air show.
it's like these four old guys. that
They're
were just, you know,
not old enough.
to be World
Three
War
of them
II.
aren't. I mean, Chappie says he's like the young.
He's
guy.
older than
supposed to
those
be the
guys, I
youngest,
bet.
But he is. He is. He's older than those other guys.
Because I was looking that up. If they flew in World War II,
in 90,
in 90,
91.
that was at least what?
They'd be at
50
least
years.
70.
They'd have to be at least 70.
But here's the thing: if you look at movie math, if you can take a 15-year-old girl and cast her as 23,
Yeah.
then if you go to 30, you
Yeah.
can be 66
This is-
or 46.
This is
and
going to
then-
be true statement, but sad that actually the Japanese guys might have been aged in because they were flying like 12-year-olds. By
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah.
So basically, it's 4
That
old
might be
guys.
too
There's
soon.
a British guy, there's a German guy, there's a Japanese guy, and then there's Chappie. He's
That was
the
that
American.
German guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What was his name?
It was the brother of the Nazi.
Leichmann.
Well, I know it was.
Not
It
all
Why did they
was
have
from
the
a
same
German
name?
guy because everybody, the accents, there were not.
And that guy's
No, that's
true
true.
German. You look at his IMDb, he's
Well,
like
I know
all
he
German.
is, but
Not a super thick accent, though.
yeah, right.
Yeah. And then we jump in and we see the bad guys, and this is where you first see Belloc from Raiders, right? And I'm like, oh my, it's the
I know, it's a Raiders guy.
Belloc. Every time I just hear Harrison Ford's voice in my head. And he's running dope and holding the daughter of Mexican Peter Falk as a hostage, okay?
Yes.
And they've got her chained up downstairs in the basement, and it's basically just like, oh, look at us, we're bad guys, and we've got these people. And
She was on display because she was at the end of the hallway, but all the rest of them were in cells.
yeah, right? She was just hanging like on a chain,
If
Van
she
Damme
was in
stuff.
cells, she couldn't have escaped by just unhooking her chain off of
Right.
an open eyelid.
I thought
very
about
hard to do
that
in a
going,
cell.
Yeah.
would it be likely they'd just be hooks or not? That maybe they'd be hooks. Hard to get chains in and off if you got a loop there.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that because she basically breaks out of. So she does a ring lift like in men's gymnastics,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
And then gets her legs up around a pipe and then is able to just, like you said, pull them off the hook.
Yeah.
And lasso the guy.
That was cool.
Prior
right
to
off
that
the
was a
bat.
bicep shot before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
you know,
lots of
the
bicep shots,
shot.
like muscles
Close-ups.
engaged.
Right.
Like she's eating spinach like Popeye.
John Glenn's like, how are they going to know?
I actually
Yeah.
paused and went and looked up who this woman was. Like, is she really this ripped? And she
Yeah.
is.
She
But
is.
like,
She is.
if there were scenes there where there was so much definition, like, did they put a prosthetic bicep on this
Yeah.
woman? Like, legitimately, I
Right.
thot that because like, there's no way. And
He
was ripped.
It's
I
legit.
respect her ability, but I do like a little more fat on my ladies.
You feel like you don't want to get thrown around.
No,
No.
it's like
No, I
Patrick
got
Swayze. I need gentleness.
Fair
I
enough.
feel like she might be rough.
Charles doesn't want to get choke slam Undertaker style.
No.
Nice lady.
He walks into the bedroom.
Lady choke slam.
And she get. He walks in. He gets a backdrop onto
Yeah,
the bed.
seriously. I don't need any of that. I wasn't into wrestling anyways, so no.
Off the top rope.
That's right. Seriously.
Yeah, I need some more junk in my trunk.
Well, she basically off the top rope. This guy's walking underneath. She lassos him with the chain.
Well, yeah.
Chokes him out. I'm like, all right, she's gonna get away. She runs outside, and there's guards everywhere. Nobody sees her. Puts the chains on the train tracks. Right.
Which would work, but very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Well, she seemed pretty
But
scared.
it gets run over by a personnel cart.
Like a hand cart.
Like,
Right?
that's not gonna
That's not
work.
gonna
That's
do
gonna
it.
stop.
It's not
It's just
heavy
gonna
enough.
skid.
Is that why they stopped?
are gonna
I'm like, why'd
fall
they
over.
stop?
Yeah, it would have derailed that thing. It would have just been like all the people would have been down the gully,
Right.
and that would have
Well,
been
they
it for
did
them.
stop the little
Cocaine
cart. I'm like,
all
why'd
over.
they stop?
The
Maybe
barrels
they
of-
felt it.
Right.
The barrels of Kool-Aid water and cocaine would have just fallen straight off.
Yeah.
We
Is that the pre-workout? Was that they had the pre-workout barrels and the cocaine
I actually
barrels?
made that joke for Bob. I'm sitting there, I was like, look at all that cocaine. She's the pre-workout.
her way to get away is she then blends in with, like, she becomes a prisoner again.
Yeah.
And blends in with the prisoners.
Yes.
Okay. They're rolling these barrels that are full of dope that have these markings on them that say property of the United States Air Force. It's a drug smuggling operation, and they've got an insider with the Air Force in order to help them move this
2 or 3.
dope.
Yeah,
a lot
couple,
of them.
yeah.
And so she rolls a barrel up on the plane and then just ducks in basically. And she has now, in the span of 2 minutes movie time, escaped from her chains,
Yes.
gotten the chains off, got on a plane, flew to Texas, and met Chappy within 2
Hey,
minutes.
we often talk about pacing in movies. I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
get to the point.
Yeah, because this
we
was
can
already an
accept.
hour 50.
This is
Yeah.
so not late 80s, early 90s like pacing.
No,
This
no,
is
no.
fantastic. I'm like, all right, we're getting
I
there.
can believe and accept it took a little bit of time. They just need to show me all the time.
No, that's fine. And before we even saw her break out, we should have mentioned that Chappie got this call that, hey, your buddy, your friend, Ramon
Gonzalez.
Morales or whatever. He was like, oh, we have to take their word for it. He's their good friend because we've never heard of this guy.
We haven't heard of him, have we?
He's just a
I
random
think
guy.
so.
Could you just say Cooper or somebody that we knew from a previous
Doug
movie?
Masters.
Or something?
And they said,
Doug Masters is still alive, but he just died.
yeah. They said he went down in the Gulf, and of course, I'm thinking Persian Gulf.
Yeah, it's the Gulf of
Or
Mexico.
Gulf,
Damn
and then it's the Gulf of Mexico. I'm like,
That
oh
makes total sense now.
no.
They find his friend gets shot down. They find all this dope in his tanks, and they're like, "Oh, your buddy was running drugs for the cartel in Peru, and now we got to open up this DEA investigation and all this stuff." And Chappie's
I
like,
was
"Oh."
confused why there were so many Latin American looking people in the Middle East at the beginning.
There was You're like,
Until
why,
I recognized this is Gulf of Mexico.
you're like,
we were
why are
talking
these
about.
terrorists speaking Spanish?
Yeah, what's going on? The training camp? They're going to go back and infiltrate?
You thought it was a Persian Gulf movie? Well, it would have been that time period, '92.
Well, all the rest of them were, weren't they?
yeah, I think so. Well, they were all
first one was
unnamed sovereign nations.
Unnamed,
Yes.
Yeah, unnamed sovereign nation.
Libya.
We finally named the nation in this one.
They do. They do.
Right. Did they?
No one was worried about
Do
pissing
you
off
think it
South
was-
America.
Do you think it was the same nation the whole time? It's always been Peru. We just suck at reading a map.
Well, it took that girl a long time to figure out where it was on the map. Like, wow, she needed a whole night to figure that out.
Oh no, I know.
I mean, that was pre GPS. I guess I couldn't find much on a map today.
I do want to call out too. There was a bunch of those guys in this movie, right? We were talking
Lots
about
of
Fred
those
Thompson,
guys.
Yep.
but then in the scene where they find out that Ramon Morales was shot down, we get the guy that played Marvin from Die Hard 2 is the head of the DEA, right? If you ever saw Die Hard 2,
is he
that janitor
He
that was
looked
like
familiar. He definitely
Yeah.
was one of those guys in
Yeah.
that thing.
And then the boss from Liar Liar was the general right?
Okay.
The guy that was like
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff.
the head of the law firm or whatever, right?
That guy. I called him like
And-
Wish Leslie Nielsen. Right.
Exactly.
And what about Horse Pants guy, the henchman? He's a pretty famous dude, isn't he?
Yes. Well, the thing I always remember him from was Crocodile Dundee 2.
Oh.
He was one of the bad guys.
Okay.
Now, talk about a bad movie. Go watch Crocodile Dundee
See, that's
2.
we need to start back with the Dundees, and then we can move forward. We haven't done any of those.
All right. So basically, Chappie, let's get back to where we were. Chappie, goes to Ramon Morales' house for, I don't know, look for clues or whatever.
Right. Notices the key's missing already.
He's like, oh, the key's gone. Isn't that? Oh, look, there's somebody in the apartment.
Yes.
Goes in there, and this is where we get Anna straight off the plane, meeting with Chappie, and my brother's innocent. He's not a drug runner, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right. In fact, there's literal trucks of this stuff getting loaded out of your base right now.
As we speak.
As we speak.
However, she jumps out of the darkness and lays Chappie out on the
seriously.
ground.
I was gonna say,
she's
she put a chokehold on
world
Chappie.
level awesome.
She's amazing in this movie.
And then Chappie's able to just flip her over, and he's gonna punch her. And oh wait, no, you're the sister. Moves her face over.
Right.
That's you.
Because he was looking through the
seen the
photos
pictures.
earlier.
Yeah.
Well, he also
Earlier.
knew everything about this family. He knew where his aunt lived.
Well, they
He
told
knew-
him.
Well,
Oh,
I thought he
that's right.
he
He
told
looked
them.
through the pictures.
He
You're
told
right.
them.
Yes,
He
did
told
know.
them.
It's
Yeah,
all,
'cause
it's
they
all
were
standard
good
stuff in their
friends.
file, he said. He looks through their file. Remember Iron Eagle
right.
too? He looks
I
through
know.
their file. He
I
knows
know.
his men, James.
I know.
And actually, he was guilty because they blackmailed him. They were going to kill his family if he didn't carry the drugs in the
I got
extra
you.
tank.
Well, what's great about this is there's actually one of the worst editing moments in the entire film. It happens right here. She goes, "They're loading all your stuff up right now," and he runs out the front door. He runs out of the frame, and then it cuts to him running in the parking lot.
Yes.
and so it made it look like he ran all the way to the base.
Yeah.
and then he almost gets run over by
Yes.
the trucks.
Yes, it's true.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Dives out of the way.
I'm like, his house is really close to the base there.
it looks like he just ran right out of the house and onto the runway. Like, is the runway?
Well, to be
in
fair,
her
it
front
probably
yard?
was military housing. But
Right.
my
Yeah.
guess is they're not quite that close.
Right.
It's really hard to sleep there.
Yeah, it's really hard to sleep.
Super loud.
House right next to the
And
airstrip.
then they did it again right after this because he goes, one of the trucks didn't get away. So he's like, inspect all these barrels. All the other ones had already taken off and tried to kill an officer on the runway, and no one
Yeah,
cared.
no one cared. I thought that's funny.
And the general walks up like he'd just been jogging around the runway or whatever. He's got the towel
I
over
like
his
his
shoulder.
radio and his sweatpants.
His sweatpants on. Oh, Ramon's sister's right here at the house. Come see. And then they did it again. They cut to
Them
Bo
walking
walking
in.
right in the door, and the guy's still got his towel around his neck, like they just
Maybe it was right there.
teleported.
The way they built the set, that could have been real. They could have just
That's
been on
what
the
I'm
other side of the hedgerow.
They literally should have done the bit. You remember in Spaceballs where he's like, "No more beaming. This time I'm going to walk," and he
it's
walks
just next
into the
door.
frame, and it's right there. Like that's kind of how they made this scene. The editing between these two scenes.
Can I also just say, I'm pretty confident that the concept of ripped jeans for girls came from this movie.
That gene was those jeans were exceedingly far ripped.
Yes,
That's like a straight,
did you
like a
notice?
vertical.
Yeah, like
Did you-
sliced.
Yes. Did you notice they showed off every muscle group in her legs? So I think it was actual, and so I can
Why have
respect.
pants on at that point?
Right.
I can respect ripped jeans that show off my amazing muscles.
How do we know she didn't, like, her leg muscles didn't just rip
Oh,
the
she
jeans?
could have.
Like,
Yeah, she went Hulk.
Yeah,
She
we
went
didn't
Hulk.
see we didn't
Yeah.
see quads engaged.
right.
And maybe they ripped
No,
her
they
pants.
didn't give us that shot.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And so Chappie ultimately is like, well, or not we. I know where she is. Her mom lives in the hood. Let's get down there right now.
The hoodiest hoods of hoods. Homeboy hoods, hookers, hoods, graffiti. I'm stuck on hood. It's so hood-like.
So it's, let's go. It's supposed to be Brownsville, Texas. It's actually L.A.
Yeah. Yeah.
So careful, it's
Yeah.
dangerous. The DEA is like, it's dangerous over there, man. You watch yourself. And I'm like, he lives in
Watch your ass.
Texas. Where is he?
There's some bad places in Texas.
Is there?
Brownsville,
I've never
apparently.
been to Texas.
I guess.
That corner.
I just assume
with
it's all guys
50
walking around with cowboy hats on, going pew pew
Yes.
pew.
Well, that corner with
Yosemite
50,
Sam, everybody in Texas. In James's mind eye.
Fred Thompson wasn't far from that. He had a gun in his
From, like,
waist.
Oklahoma, I think,
Yeah,
isn't
well,
it?
that street had like 50 sex workers, hookers.
Yeah,
that's right. It's a lot.
it was a
Chappie had to
lot.
watch his ass. Apparently,
Yeah.
those prostitutes
Well,
were
and that
too.
poor
People kept telling him that.
That poor
Watch your
driver
ass.
too. He's like, I'm gonna get an STD from just looking at
In
these
his
ladies.
Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
base
man.
model.
Brand new,
Jeep
too.
Cherokee.
Never,
Dude,
just right off the
He
lot.
reaches, I love this. This is something that kids who would watch this today would never notice. When he gets out and goes to go inside, he reaches back in the door and locks the handle. But he holds the outside so it stays locked because that's how some of the cars
Yes.
work.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was a good little thing that I'm glad you caught that.
And he actually had to use a key to open the door.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, remember when you had to use a key?
Yeah.
Remember when there were
Like,
two
like
keys?
an animal?
Yes.
You had to
Oh,
reach
yeah,
into your
one for
pocket and you
keys.
had to pull them
Yeah.
out and you had to unlock the
Two,
car.
outdoor key
keys.
and ignition key.
No wonder we were always exhausted back then.
My car, my keyless entry is not working right, and when I unlock it, it sets the alarm off.
Oh, so you just showed your key. Do you have to unlock your car?
Yeah, my pickup truck down there.
Yeah.
2 keys.
Oh my
Two
God.
keys.
2 keys.
What year is it?
Imagine.
1981.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Imagine having to use 2 keys to do anything.
Imagine having keys anymore.
I remember I bought.
got those pod things now in my pocket.
So he goes into the apartment. She immediately runs out the window. There's a very short chase scene where Anna
He
goes
says,
down
"I'm
one
getting too
floor
old
down.
for this stuff."
He does.
He
They rip
totally
off.
ripped. I stopped again and looked. I was like, "What year was this?" Okay,
Yeah.
Murdaugh did it first. All right.
Big time. She runs into basically where they were having the bad guy auditions
Yeah.
for the movie.
I got so laughed I hit the mic. That was so funny.
But she did, right? It was just like there was the casting call in there.
Yeah.
And she ran
Bad
in.
guy green room.
Could you imagine if they actually? That's an actual thing. It's like everybody wants to be a bad guy in this movie. Come on in
Come in
this
this
day,
room.
and they just filmed like the scene through to see
those-
the reaction.
Those must have been the ones that didn't make it.
Yeah.
None of them knew how to hold a gun.
No, I seriously.
One of them was holding it up themselves almost. They're so bad at it.
It's
Nobody in this
I
movie in general knew how to hold a
We're
gun.
watching
didn't.
Brooklyn
Not at
Nine-Nine.
all.
There's an episode where he does upsy downsies with his gun and he puts it upside down and his pinky to shoot. One of them upsy downsying the gun, I
That's what I'm
think.
saying. man. But she saved, because Chappy comes in with his gun, and then this guy who had been outside moving televisions.
Who wasn't polite.
TV.
Where's room 318?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said-
Something about
what did he
Social
say?
Security number or something like that.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Or the winning number, some of the
lottery
code
number,
comes
yeah.
in.
The lottery, yeah.
Basically, TV comes in out of nowhere. This is the guy's name is TV.
Oh, he's moving TVs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Keep up, Charles.
they basically are able to get her out of the room without anybody getting shot, and he
With his
delivers to the first.
Sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he delivers the first of what is many stupid lines from TV.
Yes.
Why don't you just say no? And then he leaves. Like this room full
I don't-
of hardcore guys.
I liked how the DA
Anti-drug,
outside said,
baby.
just say no to drugs.
There's this spot where it's like federal building.
That's why I'm telling you. This,
do drugs.
yes.
Well, Just Say No was a
Right.
big thing back then.
I am almost positive this was a DEA drug sponsor movie. Don't do drugs. It's like the new what was that pop movie that was so famous?
How high?
Yeah, this is that one.
There was a moment here in the movie where it was just like a lot of plot machinations back and forth, right? So he finds her, they get her out of the room, they go up there, they have a really short conversation about the village that's in trouble down there. He's like, oh, that sounds really important, but I have to go fly on an air show, so I'm going to leave now so this hitman can come and try and kill you.
Who was another one of those guys in that thing?
And then I'll come right back.
Right.
Right?
And when does
Well-
TV say the line "heavy homeboy from the hood"?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's when that bad guy. That's when the bad guy
Yeah,
shows up. He's a heavy homeboy from the hood.
So he goes because he's got to keep his date. In the meantime, like immediately after Chappie leaves, here comes this hitman in the most 90s suit of
You like
all
the flap
time.
in the back?
The flaps in the back, the shirt that it looks like. I mean, I can't even describe
That guy
it.
would trip going upstairs. That
Oh,
jacket
for
was
sure.
so
Oh, yeah.
long.
He had the mulletest mullet that ever mulleted, and he just. I
And
love
he wanted
this guy.
to be Steve Gutenberg.
He's so badly.
He's
And
the
this
true
was supposed to
great
be
value
some
Steve
like
Gutenberg.
TV acts like this is the hardest core
I calls
gangster.
him literally heavy homeboy from the hood.
I'm like, this guy looks like he is not from around here. I don't.
well, to be fair, he was going to do very bad things to her.
He was, and he goes up in there in the apartment, and he pays TV
And he's got one
Yeah,
of them
to
gun
look
flicker
out.
wrist-
to look out for him. He's got a sleeve gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that
Like-
thing 4-barreled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoots. How do you shoot a 4-barrel gun like that?
You pull the trigger.
Sequential trigger.
4 triggers? Like, oh, I didn't mean that one. Or you pull them all at once and
Does it
like little
matter?
tiny bullets come out.
Does it matter what order you shoot the barrels in?
Well, I'm not a gun guy, James.
Well,
when I
neither
moved
am
here,
I.
I passed up the NRA's offer of 25 guns. And I'm like, I don't really.
When you moved to Wisconsin, they offer you.
Did. They literally did.
You turned them down?
I did. I'm like 25.
You know, if you turn those down, then they give them away to Illinois.
I was gonna say I have mine and Charles's.
Yeah.
25 guns for a penny.
That is not a judgment. It's not a judgment on gun people. It's just not my culture.
Wisconsin has a Columbia House.
Seriously, I should have saved that. Culture shock, Southern California boy. Wow, 25 guns? Really? That seems like 24 more than probably I need. But if I had started, I would have ended up with 25.
You pay the
guns.
penny, and then over the next 2 years, you got to buy 6 more guns.
At full price.
Full price.
That's right. Welcome to Wisconsin, the south of the north. Okay, all right. So hold on.
We just alienated the entire South.
I'm totally. My whole family's from the South. I can't alienate them. Those are my people. Basically what happens here is Hitman goes up into the bedroom and they leave it hanging as to whether or not he's able to kill her. He's got her chained to the bed, a pillow over her face, handgun into the pillow.
Yeah.
And TV was paid to watch over her.
And he's just kind of standing there.
He got paid not to as well by bad guy.
Right. So he's in the room going, shouldn't do this, man. But then it cuts and we don't know what happens. We cut to the stupid air show he's got to fly in. And the only reason this is important, they had to shoehorn this in, even though it was just an excuse to get him out of there, Chappie out of there, and bring Chappie back, is that Doyle, who we haven't mentioned yet, Doyle is the dirtbag partner of Morales, who actually is dirty.
Way over the top.
Okay. Way big time over the top. It's like he's trying to be Michael Dudikoff or something.
Like if you want to look for the bad guy.
Initially thought, I was like, wait, is that? No.
He looked kind of like him.
The first couple glances of him, it's like, is Dudikoff in here? No.
Way too good an actor for that.
Well, that's what I thought. Like, this guy's
So Doyle is the guy they were flying together. He was the guy actually running dope. Morales was trying to stop him, but made it look like it was Morales running the dope, whatever. So Doyle is the guy that we know at this point is the connection within the United States Air Force.
Right.
So while Chappie is, kicking things over and overturning rocks and looking for clues, he's like, oh, that's not cool. He loads live ammunition into their paintball runs for the airplanes and makes it so that Chappie is getting shot at with live ammo.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
By the German guy, and he's really sad he shot his buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about combat airplanes that shot up, but I think Chappie could have done a better job landing that plane.
He landed it in the dirt next to the runway.
I mean, it has 2 engines.
Yeah.
For a reason. I think they were pretty combat survivable.
See, this is stuff I don't know when I'm.
I'm not 100% sure. Do you want an interesting fact?
I'm not an aviator.
For our listeners, we have it's a decent state park called Richard Bong State Park, and the guy was named after an ace in World War II who became an ace on P-38 Lightnings.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
And that Bong State Park is not used for smoking drugs.
Well, everybody that goes past it's like, Bong.
Yeah, but it was originally going to be a U.S.
You
air
haven't
base.
spent much time at the campground there, have you, Charles?
Oh, it was going to be an air base.
It was going to be an air base. That's why it's very flat, and they stopped it after because they did realize they didn't need it.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So there you go. There's a tie-in with P-38s and not really.
Actually,
well, Chappie survives the
You
hit.
can cut that if you'd like.
I'm definitely going to edit it out. Just kidding. Chappie survives the hit, the attempted hit by his unwitting friend who didn't try to kill him.
Right.
And then they're all like, that means Anna's in trouble because they tried to shoot me down. So everybody
come after me. They're going to come
No,
after
I
her.
thought old guys unite.
Old guys unite, and they all run over there in a limousine.
Right.
Stop
Yeah,
me.
what was that? You got a car? I'm like,
Can I
well, didn't
say-
you come
I've
here in
got
a
a
car?
This is a Texas limousine. Why doesn't it have horns on it?
Yes. Thank you.
Seriously.
Come
Budget.
on.
Just so you know,
Ridiculous.
Ryan's teenage son had a truck and he put horns on.
He did. He had horns on
So
it.
Ryan knows. Ryan's a wonderful father because he knows appropriate hoodwear for.
Yeah,
his
for
kid.
any. I mean, it's
Hood
a
horning.
It's a limousine, a Texas limousine, owned by like an oil guy.
Yes.
Why isn't there horns
Yes.
on it?
A valid question.
Yes.
Come on.
Well, also,
a
why
missed
didn't they just
opportunity.
take Chappie's car? He had-
But they had a Jeep Cherokee. You could have fit everybody in there.
Although I
Could've.
guess the boss came too, so maybe not.
Well, Stockman can ride in the back.
Yeah.
It was the 90s. You could ride in the back of your
Yeah,
Jeep
you didn't have to
Cherokee.
be strapped in.
Right?
You'd have been fine.
Ain't nobody going to do nothing.
Stockman's
he'll
not
be
riding in the back. He's
Not going in the hood.
He
Nobody's
owns a
doing
whole
nothing.
bunch of really expensive planes.
They all pull up in the hood in this limousine. All the hookers are like, "Oh, a limo!" Like they all show
They,
up.
saw, they were like, cha-ching.
Yeah. That's when the driver rolls his window up. He's like, nope.
That was his big
I'm
moment.
getting syphilis just by
Yeah,
breathing this air. I'm
seriously.
putting this up.
No, thank you,
You know,
ladies.
deep down they're all like, I got 20 minutes. She'll be fine.
All the old guys run upstairs to
Funny.
find that the hitman is dead and not Anna, which means TV stepped up and did the right thing.
Did the right thing. And then
TV
he's like-
killed a guy.
Then he's like,
Yeah.
my buddies from the wait, what's it called? Hood. Are going to take care of it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
and he
some
said,
cleaners.
They're gonna come looking for this guy.
that's right, because this guy's apparently a big deal, so we got to get out of here, right? So the TV kind of joins the crew at this point.
He thinks he does.
He thinks he does.
He thinks he does.
There's about 6 more scenes in this movie of them all saying, please leave and get out of here.
Yeah.
We don't want
Your
you.
personality doesn't jive with my crew.
Chappy couldn't read the file on you. You're not part of the crew.
That's right.
That's right.
And so they all leave. There's like, they all kind of undersell the fact there's a dead body. All these old guys are just like, oh, all right, well,
body.
we good? Let's get out of here. Thanks for the assist. Chappie goes, now he starts to try and, he's found out from Anna that this village is in trouble. He's gone and done his obligation at the flying ship. Now he can go, and he starts to tell the DEA, the general, he's like, we got to go down there and do something. They're all like, how about no?
It's right here, though. We don't know yet, but I've seen it before, so maybe that leads to it. But the general, like the way he's so dismissive of, it's like, listen, they're closing my base down in 14 days. I don't know the number of days.
Yeah.
Let's just not dig up anything. I don't want a scandal and blah, blah. Just let it be. It doesn't matter.
And this is actually the scene when he goes into his office where he sees the pictures on the back wall with the call sign Jackhammer on them, which he knew had to do with the initial
Tied it together.
the crash, tied it together. So at this point, Chappie knows that the general is involved.
I missed that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the general
What a
is
great
Doyle's
name for a mission,
dad.
by the way.
Jackhammer.
Jackhammer. It's a great call sign. And so what do you do, guys, if you're Chappy Sinclair and the DEA and the military won't do anything?
You do
call
whatever
up
the
some-
hell you want.
You call up some kids and have them get you some intel.
Well, that's
Seriously,
what they
where
do.
were the kids to get him planning? I was really hoping.
It
they-
really
Chappie
looked like-
does what Chappie does.
Plan a mission.
Slap the jukebox, and it's time for an unauthorized mission.
But there
Well,
were a
jukebox.
couple. There were a couple scenes where you can see it processing in his mind, and he does
Yes.
his best acting where he goes, "Ooh." And then another one. Ooh.
I almost expect him to
Maybe
hop
the
on
old
a
guy.
motorcycle and go out into the desert to think about some stuff for a while.
Like nobody does unsanctioned missions like Chappie Sinclair.
No.
Okay, that's all he does, and no one can have access to more unauthorized military ordnance.
Again,
Right.
we just got a guy grabbing sidewinders and stuff
Well,
off
at
the
least
base and loading them on these old planes. Why are they got a whole lot of stuff hanging off the wings of them planes.
At least, though, for a couple things about that guy, at least I think he was an officer.
Yeah.
And secondly, he does get caught in the back of his truck.
Yeah, he's like
4th of July?
4th of July.
July?
Yeah, 4th of July.
That was funny. He did get by.
I did laugh at that one.
And the way he's able to pull off this mission, his plan is, let's take these old guys. Okay, we got all these old veteran flying aces.
Because they've been talking about how much better they are than all these guys with
plane.
their
Yeah.
Or man, not the machine.
man,
Right.
not the plane.
It's the seasoning,
That's
not the
ridiculous.
technology, right? Yeah, all that stuff. He's like,
That's so
how would you like a chance to prove it?
Whoa, I'm in.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He really
All
had
right.
to sell him hard, right?
This movie was almost good.
Yeah, he bought him a shot and said, "How do you want to prove it? Let's prove it."
And they're all,
got a
"We're
mission."
in."
Yes. We're
I like
in.
that the British guy used a cigarette holder. Made him very classy British.
Very,
He was
very
a classy
classy.
guy.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
like
that's
it.
why he's so young. He smoked in that. You know how they used to say the smoking was good for your health. So
Really?
that was
that
before.
what they
Was
said?
that before the tobacco people got caught with? Oh yeah, it was like good.
How,
clears your
there would have
lungs.
to be a long, long time back because
50s. Well, these guys were 30s
Three
and 40s.
Stooges was when was Three Stooges started?
I don't know.
Like
30s.
30s, yeah.
They called them coffin nails then. They knew it was coffin
Yeah.
nail cigarette company.
Look at the. I was just looking at an ad, old cigarette ad, and they're like, "It's good."
Well, they used to add market it that way for sure.
Right.
Before
Anyways,
they could.
not
But
to
yeah,
digress. into
regardless,
well, it is a public service film, so don't smoke either, people.
they did have a guy on the inside in the military.
if
that
you
was
are,
helping
use a
them out,
cigarette
right?
holder because it makes you look cool.
This guy, I can't believe that this is happening.
But don't do cocaine.
Don't. Good Lord, don't do that.
Never. Not even if you have one of them long fingernails.
Not even if you've been asked to fly an unauthorized mission for
Yeah.
Chappie Sinclair.
Right.
what if you're really tired?
Okay.
Does it help? with
No.
that?
So
I've been really tired since.
this guy they've got inside the military is training Anna on the laser guidance system.
Yes.
And they went through the trouble of dressing her in fatigues and everything to train her
Right.
for this, which is like the 1-2 minutes she's
Don't they
in
know all they
military
just need
gear.
to just walk in like teenagers?
And just walk in there and say, point this laser at this thing, and it blows up.
Yeah.
We don't have to dress you up. We don't have to go through this whole thing.
McDish is so cute and scary that no one would ask her why she's there anyways.
No. let's talk about her for a second because we're about to get to the point in the movie where she's a lot more involved in the plot.
Turns into Rambo.
And she turns into Rambo. What would you say about her line delivery in this movie?
Not
Best Actress award
if you had the only.
Yeah, who
if
won
you
it that
had,
year?
in this movie.
She should have won it.
If you had Arnold and Stallone meshed, you probably would be better than her.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say she'd be about on level with those. So I was like, that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Not
was
to telegraph
basically
a certain award that's coming.
No. But look, basically, here's because we're coming up on the scene where they're all getting packed up and they're ready to go, and she's going to ship out. The plan of the final attack is she's going to go ahead. Stockman's going to fly her in his plane. She's going to rally the troops that have escaped from this village. Right? We'll arm them. TV finds literally raids the hood for a full of guns.
He was going around to
Right.
his buddies, loads up the van.
They run all these illegal weapons from the hood down to fight this war. And as they're about to leave, Chappie and her, they try to let them have a moment together, right? And Chappie goes, I guess we both learned a lot about each other, didn't we? Yes, we did. I mean, that was literally how these lines sounded when she spoke. Am I wrong?
And she's supposed to be Peruvian.
It was a little
No
more.
accent
It was a
whatsoever.
little more
She
Latino-esque
started-
language or inflection.
I think at the very beginning, she started with a little bit of an accent in the first
Yeah.
scene
Did she
delivery
lose
here
it?
or
Did
there,
she
and
run
it's
out?
gone.
Yeah.
She goes full English accent.
I guess she's probably not Latino.
I don't
she's
know.
like American.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's American.
She had a real heavy spray tan.
Seriously.
And,
Probably
in this movie.
because she just competed in Missile.
Yeah, she's just coming off of that.
The one thing which I thought was a waste of time, where they said this is where they use their time getting ready for the mission to let us know that Sue was not really a flying ace from back in the day, right? He says, I cannot go with you. I brought great shame upon my dojo and whatever else.
I stole my brother's story.
It was his brother that was the ace.
more stereotypical character than
Yeah,
Sue.
that was-
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly.
And I love Sonny Chiba, and I just felt he was not used properly, wasted in this
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, for sure.
I felt so. I thought he did all right.
And really, this was all just a dramatic stall tactic because, 2 scenes later, he's coming back anyway.
Right, but they couldn't have had that little bit of drama that we need these 3 planes. They must be fully ordnanced and stuff we can't get everything and half of it doesn't work. Oh, well, it's okay. You got 4 planes again.
Why don't they just say, Sue, thank you, brave to tell that, but we really need you because you're
Right, we trust
highly
you.
more qualified than this other guy who's never flown one of these planes, even though he's Air Force.
They could have had a moment there, we trust you, we believe in you.
That's
anyway.
where I thought it was going to go, and then it didn't, and then he
Right,
comes.
and then, yeah.
It was also that he could come back at the
Yes.
last minute and go, I am going to
yes,
fly
in his outfit and everything.
with a scarf.
Yes.
Which is,
I mean, it was dramatic.
no, it was.
So you got that going for him.
It was. All right, but here's where we get into the wonderful part of this movie. The first hour is whatever. It's your standard, typical, run-of-the-mill Iron Eagle fare, right?
Yeah.
Can I get into a really good line before we go?
Yes, but the last 30 minutes of this movie are worth whatever price you got to pay to rent this thing on Kino now or wherever it is you find it by the time this episode is heard by you. Yes, what do you got for me?
So I really like the line when TV says, so how are we going to pull this off? And Chappie says, if you mean we, as in you and me, then you have the wrong definition of the word. I'm going to totally use that in the future for people who want to be involved in stuff they should not be involved in. That is a great line. And Gossett delivers it like a true professional actor.
It's fantastic.
Yes, he's got another one too that I'll save for when I perhaps nominate someone.
And TV is basically I want to go. And he just keeps telling him, no, we don't want you. Or like Clint said before, it's your personality. Or here he's like, you're just not, I think he's trying to protect the kid, right?
Yeah.
Say no, you can't come.
Yeah.
But what happens here is when Anna flies down with Thompson and lands in Peru,
Stupid.
TV had stowed away in the nose of the plane.
He would be one cold.
He would be, that's exactly what I said. He would be dead from hypothermia.
I like how he called it storage class or something later on.
And he falls out, and the first thing he does is a Eddie Murphy
I didn't even
impression.
know what that was.
My legs.
What's
That's
that from?
It's from Trading Places.
Oh, okay. That's a good movie.
And
But
I'm like,
yeah.
all of a sudden the guy turned into the plucky comic relief
Seriously,
sidekick.
like
Yeah,
a
he
different
did.
movie character all of a sudden.
And all he does is speak in pop
Yes.
culture references,
Yes.
and he's talking about Eddie Murphy and MTV and Fresh
we
Pee-wee
like
Prince.
Playhouse?
Jazzy Jeff.
Like, wait, this
we
guy's
like
like-
Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Millie and Vanilli. Michael Jackson and the Elephant Man's bones. Are they still together? I don't even know what that means. Did Michael Jackson have the Elephant Man's bones?
Allegedly.
Or was that a band name?
No, that's not a band name. It was literally talking about the Elephant Man's
Why did he have
bones.
the Elephant Man's bones?
I don't know. When
Jackson was a weird dude.
Why did he have
though,
anything?
Yeah.
But he just starts spouting pop culture references out of nowhere.
All of a sudden, he turns into the off-brand Carlton.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
And this dude went all the way to Peru to ask this little Peruvian girl if she knows Two Live Crew.
And before that, he's like, "You guys, good camouflage or something." Yeah, that was so stupid. Yes. Yeah. And that girl gave her the right response. She was a really good actress, actually.
Yeah.
She's like, "What the hell is this guy talking about? Let me go back and fight the bad guys."
And immediately I'm like, oh, this is why Chappie didn't want him to come. We just hadn't seen enough of TV. They had to ride in the car with him, right? When he starts doing that terrible rapping, my name's TV and I'm here to say, and I like,
Yeah, it was awful.
that is that old school, like generic rap formula that ultimately became like a way to show how white you were. Was like,
Right.
dads used to do that. Oh, I can
black,
rap too.
though.
My name is Dad and I'm here to say. But here is this dude straight out of the hood. And this is how he's like, you ever heard of rap before? My name's TV and I'm here to say, I'm here to kick butt in a major way or whatever it was. I don't know. But I'm just like, dude.
It was bad. It was bad.
Right, but back in '92,
It was bad.
that girl was like, "Oh, he got bars."
I don't think she spoke English. She just turned away and walked away. She's
just
like,
stared
she wasn't
blankly
even
the
on
whole
the
time. She's like,
She was just some lady girl that walked on the set.
And even that girl's like, "This guy's useless." Even everyone keeps trying to tell him he's useless. Don't come here. He drives a donkey. Okay,
Drives it on.
yeah,
and
They fall in love, apparently.
rolls up in the burrow.
I like that part. Made me laugh. She smacks the horse, and the horse, which I always think, are the horses just going home, or do they just like don't care anymore?
they
about
just
the
like get away from here.
Gone
Yeah,
now.
they just
horse? He
go.
smacks
I'm not
the
a horse
donkey,
guy.
and the donkey doesn't do anything. I thought that was funny.
I think
and then
they're
he's like,
trained to go
smack the
somewhere,
donkey.
but again, we don't do research here,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
More pop culture references. He's like, it works for Stallone. He's literally dressed like Rambo.
Yeah, exactly. And says, "Oh, looking lower like Rambo there.
Yeah, right.
Over the
Yeah.
top, don't you think?"
Yeah.
So work for Rambo.
Wink.
And they tip their hand here because the very next scene is her basically being Rambo.
Rambo.
For the rest of the movie, she's Rambo.
Well, every bullet she shoots must have a downward trajectory because every time she's holding the gun, it's up in the air, and yet she's like killing them all.
She's
She's
hip
got those,
firing
like,
up.
boomerang
Yes.
bullets that just
They
are like
didn't have enough gunpowder in them to actually, like, they're just lobbing them out there.
Oh, but can we talk about? So the two of them are just riding through the forest, okay, and they're sidestepping like Conan the Barbarian traps and stuff.
There's a lot of those
And
out
he
there.
gets caught in one, and now TV is hanging upside down by his ankle.
Yes.
And can we let's talk
What's
about
with those
this
little
forest
red
for a minute. It's supposed to be like the jungle of Peru. This thing is like fall in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's
because
just
they
little
filmed this
shrubs and everything else. The
in
leaves are all
Arkansas or
brown.
something,
right?
Right.
and it's like the thinnest forest you've ever
It
seen,
is.
too. There's like
It's
there's
a
only
back set in
14
California,
trees.
people.
Yeah. There's only 14 trees in this forest, and there's like trails going through
Right.
it.
I honestly
They're
think I
just
have
running around.
seen the compound on a freeway out in California.
Well, see, there you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
It looks
So
like every other.
This is when the
place
bad guys attack, and it's literally her versus 14 guys. And you're right, the hip firing. The bad guys, everyone is hip
the
firing.
bad guys are terrible shots.
No
They're
one
horrible.
shoulders a gun in this movie, not once.
They're 18 bad guys.
Which is a Rambo thing, right? Rambo would come out with the gun at his hip and just start mowing people down, and he'd have the belt in one hand and the other one,
Yeah.
And it looked awesome when Stallone does it because he sells it.
All right,
She's just shooting like at a
Everybody.
45-degree upward angle.
I mean, she's attractive shooting stuff.
Like they're lobbing mortars here on these guns. Just
But the bad guys, it's even better because there is one scene that's blatant. I'll try and find the clip and put it in here so you guys can see it. Where they're running up towards her and they're hip firing, but straight into the ground.
Right.
They're pointing it downwards. They're going. And I'm like,
we gotta kill these ants. Get these ants. Getting bit the hell up by fire ants and get rid of these bastards.
Peru, it may be worse than fire ants. It's a giant chomper ant.
Well, they got them army ants
Yeah.
and that'll just.
it's just ridiculous. You saw what I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about.
absolutely. Good stuff.
Every bad guy could not hit anything except a little kid off a bell. And she could,
Right.
every shot the good guy shot were hit home.
Now, you were on our Hard to Kill episode.
True story.
Did you recognize the guy from Hard to Kill in this scene?
I did not.
So after they getaway, and they grab TV from the trap. The bad guys grab TV from the trap, and they take off with them. Now she's by herself. This dude sneaks up behind her with a knife and tackles her.
Oh,
it's the guy. It's one of the guys, one of the bad guys from Hard to Kill that killed Steven Seagal's wife in that movie.
Right.
He was the one guy that landed a shot at him, the Hawaiian looking dude that was like, "I'm a cop. Let's see what you got." And then like they had the cleaver or whatever.
Right.
That is the dude that now they spray painted him, and now he's a Peruvian like cartel guy, you know. And as soon as I saw him, I'm like, it's the Hard to Kill guy, and he was very hard to kill also in this movie. The knife struggle was so ridiculous.
Yes, I don't think even a really strong woman or even a really strong man could probably twist.
No,
because
that dude was like 285 minimum.
But here's the deal.
Yeah.
When you're on top of somebody, you have the leverage
Yes.
to
Right.
start
Yes.
shoving the knife at them and then like maybe perhaps through them.
Yes,
their
I'm having
body.
You put
flashbacks.
all your weight on it.
She turns this thing around and
Yeah.
starts pushing it up. All he has to do is just,
Yeah.
back up with it.
At
Or stand up
least-
or
Yeah,
move.
Just stand up and walk away.
Right.
At
No,
least,
no, I'm going to stand right here and give her the chance
Yes.
to murder me.
at least they were honest enough to have her kick him in the head so his head came forward, not that she forced it in.
Right, but how do you kick
it's
when the head from
entirely
underneath?
impossible.
No, she gave him a nut shot.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
still.
it was a nut shot or something.
Well,
They
the
did.
head.
This is where we got our second close up of the bicep, right? That's how.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
In
Bicep
case you're wondering
engaged.
how on earth she's pulling this off, let's show you this
Zoom in.
bicep again here really quick. And then everybody
Bionic
goes,
bicep.
Before they cut down TV, I really did like the shot of him shooting people upside down.
The first person
Yeah.
shot.
Ridiculous that he hit them, but awesome shot. Like that was probably honestly that was
That's a
like
good
one of the
shot.
more
One of the
unique
best shots.
shots you've ever seen in a film. I thought that was great.
You can shoot people effectively upside down.
And
When you've never shot a gun like that.
again,
Well, at least he
Why?
had it like pointed at.
He
That
did-
was,
they
like,
did
the only
show-
one that
they
was,
did-
like,
it's like
pointed at
first
people,
person
'cause
shooter.
You could see right through the sight. The way they had
Yeah,
the
that's
shot,
true.
you
They
saw
did.
right through
That
the
is
sight,
true.
and he's just
You're right
all
about
over him.
that. They were honest. That was
like
the only
he's
honest
spectating
shot.
Like the
Ryan,
only
and
one.
like
Everybody
he's-
else is
Yeah, right.
hip firing their mortar guns.
He definitely had some aim assist because like he's
definitely-
aim, the sights are here, but it hit the guy right here. You know?
Yes.
It's like watching you guys.
Were there first person shooters
I
in
don't think they're
'92?
showing this right.
I mean, there was Doom.
Doom.
There was Doom.
Yeah.
So you
There's
think
a Doom at
they're
the
you think
time.
they're
Wolfenstein.
referring to those games in that
I don't
moment,
know.
trying to get the young folk?
No,
Maybe.
because if they were referring to those games, it would have been shot in 5 frames per second. It would have just broke
Right.
because that's how they were.
They bring the bad guys bring TV over to Belloc, who is still in this movie. We haven't mentioned him the whole time because every time they cut to him during the movie, it's
He's just
like
walking around
move
doing nothing.
move that cocaine over here.
Right.
Yeah.
You smack that prisoner, and that's it. Like that's all he does the whole movie.
And we find out that he's doing this so he can support neo or Nazi causes because he's
Right.
really a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a escaped Nazi
He's a
basically,
Nazi, yes.
and TV gets brought into headquarters to see him. And again, everybody should have listened to Chappie. Why are you here? He blows their entire cover, right? Just him being there, getting caught in the trap. They bring him. He's like, "Oh, look, we're being attacked," and it notified basically the entire base that you know this attack is happening. So TV again almost ruins the plan. And this is also when Anna uses now he's chained up in the basement, and we'll get to the planes in a second. Anna uses
Yeah, that's
the
the problem. There's not
same
very many planes in this point.
the same tactic that she used to get out of the prison. She
get in.
disguises herself as a prisoner again, and no one notices this yoked 6 foot woman like Miss
She
Olympia.
had shirts on.
Oh, she had
looked.
shirts on.
She had pants that were not slit.
Because
and
she
had
rolled
shirts
on the roof and
Yeah.
pulled down all the ponchos
That's right.
or
Yeah.
whatever was up there.
If you're wearing a poncho, you can move around this
Yes.
compound as a prisoner.
I thought that too.
With
yeah,
yeah,
no
no
problem.
Maybe they
problem.
thought, no, she wasn't prison. She was like bringing food or something.
Well, she had a fruit tray.
Yeah.
But that's not the
she's-
point.
she's the help.
The point is like, why is there a 6 foot man in a woman's clothing, walking? Like at some point, one guard would have to be going,
This doesn't look right. There were no tall women, were there?
I
I don't think there were tall women.
Well, maybe
with
they're
broad
not
shoulders.
as typed.
All
as you
right.
are, Jim.
Oh,
maybe
no.
they're a little
That
more
guy-
open.
Thanks. Now you
They-
make
they
me look
kinda
like a
looks like-
real nice guy.
Maybe they're a little
No,
more
we're just
open to
saying,
tall
all
women.
Of the
there.
other people that were there, you would think that they would know the people that are on their compound while
Well, I
this
mean, new
badness
people
is
start
going on.
jobs.
I suppose.
You think they got a hiring thing out? Like,
Yeah.
looking for
Well, they did.
Help
Look, a
wanted
lot
at
of
the
their help.
compound.
help
Needs
wanted, tall
carry
woman.
fruit tray.
A lot of their
fruit tray,
help
wearing
had been
poncho.
killed. A lot of their help had been killed, so they probably did need to fill some spots.
Then the HR guy should know. Like, she didn't do a W-8. Why is she here?
Well, he was busy with the other people hiring, you know.
Wait,
It's
hold on.
not a
Can we-
W-8 in Peru. Totally different.
Can we see your passport? ID. We need some
I
ID.
did all that stuff. Yeah, so she does prove, though, however, that you can get in anywhere with a fruit tray and a huge rack because everybody just lets her right downstairs
She did have a nice rack.
into the basement. TV is there. She kills somebody with the fruit tray and gets TV down
Yep.
and busts him out of prison.
Of course.
Okay.
And they get all their gear back. So like,
Oh,
what are they going to do without this gear?
Right.
Well, now the airplanes arrive. Now Chappie's here. We do get a few inserts and cutscenes. They're like, up. 5 hours till we get there. All right, everybody chill
Gotta
out.
refuel.
Gotta
Refueling.
Where are they going to refuel?
Oh,
They got to land
They
those
never
stuff.
refuel.
Yeah, they didn't show
Ever.
I don't know. They refueled in
Well, they said 300 miles or 3
Brazil
hours
or
till
something.
refuel.
Right.
5 hours till we get to 300. And it's like, 30 minutes
So-
to go. So we assume it happened.
Here's an interesting question: has every Iron Eagle had a refuel line?
Yes.
I don't know. They had
They
so
might
far.
have.
The
I think
first
so.
one,
I think
know.
they might have.
Yeah, so far they've all talked about it.
So good. I'm glad they're keeping the
Consistency.
the box thing,
Oh, yeah.
the box and the few
Because Doug
refueling.
Masters is like, so is this self-serve or you got to get out and pump it? Or is this full service? You
That's
got to
right.
get out and pump it yourself.
Right.
And we won't be an Iron Eagle movie, thank God, unless they talk about refueling. I would have
No.
been so
You know, I
bummed
bet
out.
they cut the
Jukebox.
refueling scene.
Jukebox slaps and refueling. That's,
Yeah.
They cut the refueling scene because
In
all it
4,
was.
they actually
All right.
refuel the jukebox.
It's time, guys. It's time. We got to talk about this. We got to talk about Nigel shooting down a plane with a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. Good stuff.
I just can't handle this part. I don't even know what to say.
This was the
I
best.
literally went, "What the hell?"
And the plane just breaks in half from it.
Seriously, new planes need better
The
construction.
plane went down like the Titanic. That's how it broke
That's
off.
how RC airplanes break in half when you shoot them with firecrackers. That's just what it does.
Well, I don't know if they have firecrackers, but I did crash one and it broke the nose off of my plane.
All right, so people-
completely severed it. So,
So
it does
people
happen.
know what we're talking about. The
Oh gosh.
the Nigel, the
It's
British guy, is
just
flying
awful.
his plane. A bad guy pilot comes up behind him, and
Do you know what kind of planes those were? I
they were fighting.
said it.
Jets. They're
Flying propeller planes.
they were
like
the,
the good
newer
guys.
Messerschmitt 102 or something like that.
No, I don't.
No,
they
those
were
were- that
old.
was the
I
one
don't know
old
what
guy had.
those.
The old guy. These were.
Yeah, and they're fight. The whole point of the mission is that they've got old planes, they've got new planes.
Right.
We realize that the new planes, the fighter jets, were not the newest and the bestest fighter jets that are
Right.
out there. Right? They're not
Well,
going
they're,
against
they're,
F-16s.
they're Peruvian military
I
fighters.
don't know what. I wish I knew what they were. They were cool looking,
Yeah.
but they were definitely from a 60s, 70s era. Maybe
But anyway, the bad guy pulls up in his fighter jet, and Nigel, this is his whole plan. First, he's like, "What do you like?"
I can't
He's
hear
like, "What do you
you.
want?" He's like,
Radio.
I can't hear you." So then he goes.
He climbs out of the cockpit.
No, first, before that though,
Oh, that's right.
the bad guy, instead of just shooting him down,
which were his
he
orders.
goes over. He's like, "No, you got to land." Like he's
Yeah.
pointing
Right.
down.
Like, which is a very military thing. Like we're not going to, but that's not a drug lord instructed
No.
military thing.
Right.
No.
You know what I mean? That's a very military.
I mean,
response.
maybe
Like,
he's
hey, go
conflicted
ahead,
because
get on
it
the
is
ground,
a really nice
figure this out.
Spitfire.
So then Nigel opens the canopy of his airplane, stands up with a grenade launcher, like Terminator 2 style
He's
grenade
already
launcher.
out this whole time because he's standing up backwards, waving at the guy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He
Yeah.
already said,
Right,
he's
as
like,
they come into
"Hey,
frame.
what's up? Oh no, we're just
That's
flying
yeah.
through Peru.
He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, I'll go down.
What's the big deal? We're just passing through.
I'm in unauthorized airspace. What's the big deal?
This is so bad.
And he freehand aims and shoots this plane down with a grenade
That's
launcher.
not the worst part.
Going, I don't know
That's
how long.
plausible.
We're getting there.
That's plausible.
But what happens
It'll do
next?
some damage.
I hate this part. This is so stupid.
Nigel's plane inverts after the
Why
other one
does it do
explodes.
that?
He hit the stick when he was going to go back
Yeah.
down. He hit the stick with
He
his
hit the
leg.
stick, and now he is the plane is flying
Hanging
upside
on the
down,
canopy.
and he's hanging from his
His seatbelt
his
harness.
seatbelt
Yeah.
harness.
Chappie shows up just in time to see this.
And there's this upside down plane
Chappie's just
with
like,
this
"Hold
guy,
on."
and his legs are just kicking and dangling. He's just hanging from the
and you can see the metal strap.
Yeah.
I love that you go
With a
wingtip
wire.
to wingtip and flip the plane
Right.
back over, but it stops perfectly level.
Perfect. Like
It doesn't-
right back.
And he falls into the cockpit where he would have
upside
totally
down.
pushed the stick
Oh,
down,
for sure.
and the plane would have gone straight into the ground.
I don't even know what else to say about the scene. It was ridiculous
Plausible.
and awesome.
No, it was terrible. And the scene, the special effects when he flipped
It was probably
the
one of the more
dumbest looking
entertaining
special
scenes in the
effects.
movie.
It was one of
It was one of the
good,
more entertaining
scenes.
It was an entertaining
No.
scene. Stupid as it was, it was
Even-
entertaining.
Even OG Iron Eagle had its funny jokes they tried to roll into it. You know, there was humor.
Are you saying you can't flip a plane back over with another wing from
Yes,
another
a
plane and
slight
just
nudge.
Yeah,
slight nudge?
Look, I'm holding my head. This is so hurting. This bothers me so much.
I
It's
saw
like
this
it's a
scene.
different movie. It's like a comedy film all of a sudden.
I saw this scene and I went, this kind of scene is exactly why I do this podcast.
Yes, that is true.
Okay. For stuff like
It was
this.
so unexpected and so terrible.
I was watching it like, this is going to piss off Charles.
It was so terrible.
And it's funny when they flipped over, you can see the legs of the dummy still sticking out the top when they did the wide
Right.
shot.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so
Yeah.
great.
And it flies. It's so terrible.
Back away. It's fantastic. I don't care what you say.
Because he has enough room in that cockpit. To
Yeah, how would he
be
even turn
head first
around
in there and then
Yes.
flip himself back around? Yeah.
No, right
well,
after-
look,
He's very athletic. Because
I just-
you take an old World War II ace into
yeah.
92 and flop him into a plane upside down. He's going to have the strength.
The other thing that bugged me about this movie the whole time is the in-cockpit scenes. The cockpits are huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're not that big in real life. I mean, they're
No.
like cavernous.
Well, they
'cause
had to
this-
be big
for
enough
the-
to get the 27-inch CRT
Yeah.
monitor
Put
in
the
there.
camera in.
The camera is huge.
It was so terrible, that scene.
And I was like, oh gosh, I hope there's more of this. And I was not disappointed because the very next thing that happens is Sue deploys his foil.
Yes.
And it's tinfoil. I'm
your
so
foil.
terrible.
So it's supposed to be little tiny shreds,
Shreds.
right? He deploys the foil. It's
And it
literally aluminum
shimmers.
foil.
Missile goes in.
Oh, so good.
He's got freaking Reynolds wrap in his car.
So awful.
Oh, my
The
God.
missile right into it. Boom.
And the most unrealistic part is he didn't cut himself on that edge. It's
Yeah,
trying to
oh,
pull
yeah.
that
No,
stuff
because he didn't have
out.
to tear it off. He just tore the whole
I hate
roll
that
off
edge.
and-
I'm always like scraping my hand on it.
He just had to. He took the whole roll. He didn't even have to cut it.
That was
I-
legendary.
Deploy your foil. Deploy your countermeasures.
Did you know the glitter industry will not acknowledge that probably their largest client
Yeah.
is probably U.S. military.
Really?
And they sell glitter chunks, luminized glitter chunks. Most likely, a huge percentage goes to flak, like this,
Interesting.
theoretically, and the other one goes to weird colored paints.
I remember you had mentioned that after you listened to a podcast, right?
So podcast, yeah.
And
Stuff
the
they
glitter,
don't want you to know.
glitter, the people that make glitter
Glitter.
refuse to disclose their biggest client,
Biggest client.
which is really strange. But
Because
it's
their
probably
biggest
military.
clients don't want them to tell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you could just go to Walmart and buy chaff.
Yeah. Seriously.
I suppose. There
So
you
that
go.
made me think of this, the tinfoil. I'm like,
I'm
all
gonna
I
start
really
doing
needed
that.
was
I'm gonna
glitter
start-
to throw out.
I'm going to start doing freaking countermeasure bombs in my truck. When the cops come start following me, I'm just going to boom, glitter the snot out of them.
I hate glitter. Glitter's the worst thing ever invented.
All right, TV gets back on the radio now. He's one of the best lines in the movie. We're loose, we got the juice, and we're ready to blow up this goose. I wish he would have delivered it like he couldn't think of a final rhyme. We're loose, we got the juice, and we're ready to blow up this goose. Like, that's about the level of which
Yeah.
it should have been. Because why on earth would you just go, we're going to blow up this goose?
Well, he's a badass rapper.
Right.
You know, he's got them cuts, man.
That's right. German guy then kills somebody with a advertisement.
Just-
Deployed the banner, sucked right into the intake of the jet.
I guess it's proving you don't need, it's not the pilot, it's not the plane, it's the whatever.
That's right.
It's the
He had
man,
this, like-
not the
not the
machine.
man, not
He
the
had
machine.
this banner that was like you see at baseball games,
Yeah.
flying
Although
behind
technically
him.
that was a machine that
He
killed
cuts that in, it goes into the
intake.
intake, and it made the TV and the pilot's thing go all staticky.
Right. It would
Right?
do that when the
Right.
motor
It would
gets,
when the motor gets
when
hurt.
it gets
the
a,
TV
I
banner.
mean, legit, that probably would cause that jet serious problems.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, for
If
sure.
You suck something into the intake of the jet engine. Yeah, it's gonna.
But like, why is the
cause some problems.
CRT going? Because you put the banner in the engine.
Well, because the alternator's not spinning.
Yeah, the alternator's done.
You lost some
Yeah.
electric.
Got
I mean,
it.
those are pretty old planes. They know they didn't have great electrical
check
systems.
engine, check alternator.
There, There were some legitimate, and again, because John Glenn is a competent hand at the wheel as a director, there were some legitimately impressive action shots and explosions during this final mission. Absolutely. Way better than some of the ones that were in the first two movies, I thought.
Other than the stupid, freaking hate it, flip over plane angling out of the cockpit scenes, I think all of the scenes were pretty well done.
Yeah, and the factory explosion was legit.
Yep.
And this is when they're all closing in on the factory. It was hilarious because you see Belloc and the other guy, Escavez or whatever his name is, like they're like, oh, the planes are coming quick. Let's go hide behind these giant gasoline tanks. Right? They run in there.
Right.
The next shot is, and then they go, oh, we're fine, and they run out of there like, oh, well, geez.
The other thing that bugged me is consistently they're outflying their missiles.
Yeah, yes.
They launch the missiles, and then the explosion is behind. In one scene, they even go out of the way to show Sue, like, I'm in the fireball. And I'm like, I think the missiles would go faster.
Can I borrow one of these?
You may. Would go faster.
Yeah, these
than
are
the planes.
not
that bugged
supersonic
me. Yeah.
planes that were flying here. So the missiles would certainly hit before those prop planes ever flew by.
Yes, that bothered me as well.
Yeah, there's a certain amount of suspension of disbelief that's required for these planes.
Absolutely.
I mean, they were already getting long in the tooth, 50 years before that, right?
Well, here's the deal.
You also
you got to one of these prop planes flying flat out are going to be, kind of approaching the speeds that these jets are going to be able to maintain to do any maneuverability at the low end of the envelope.
Yes.
It's like this is a ridiculous thing that you should see these jets as like, all right, I've got him on, like, oh, he's behind me. Like legitimately, it should be.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you're right.
They should be engaging at 3 miles.
Here's the other really big problem. I just thought of this. Mm-hmm. They really didn't need all those missiles because all those things were machine gun nests. And those planes were pretty good in World War II at clearing out machine gun nests with their cannons and their guns that they had.
Sure.
There's one thing I want to draw attention to really quick as we're getting tight is the worst edited sequence in the entire movie is there's some ground combat they're still showing where she's running in and being Rambo and stuff. And she comes up and she grabs this guy by the neck. She's got him like in a chokehold. These bad guys run in behind her and they start firing directly at her. It cuts to her. No bullet hits at all. Then she turns around with the guy, and then the bullets hit the human shield. Did you see that? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And I'm like, dude,
she's really fast.
Show the guys firing after she turns around, because that made no sense whatsoever.
Right.
It's like the bullets waited, like they fired them, they stood there and waited, and then she turned around and then like, okay, we can go.
They were playing bullet, red light, green light.
Seriously.
Red light. Human shield.
The editor did some disservice to this movie way more than the director did, in my opinion. All right. Let's talk about TV's run to glory as they're in the church, and he's got to try and they've now wired the church to explode.
Right.
All of the townspeople are in this church, and the guys have this detonator on a Jeep, and TV is trying to make a run to get there before they blow it up. And he's taking cover behind gravestones.
Yeah.
Going from spot to spot. I mean, he was doing okay.
I'm like, what was it? American Gladiator.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, he's playing the American Gladiator thing. He's got the tennis ball gun.
Right.
Yes.
And then you dive to the next one and you take another shot.
And then he dives, and now he's taking cover behind like a wooden fence.
A wooden two-rail split fence.
With large holes in it or openings in it. Yes.
They're still not getting him. Then he clears that, and he gets shot up as he's making the final
he gets
run.
his knees mowed out of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they ultimately, they get the one guy, but they still press the plunger and blow up the church. So again, his purpose there was none. There was nil.
They did
The purpose
find out she got in and got everybody out.
Yes.
Yeah, but she figured that out.
Right.
Right.
Again, I keep waiting. I'm like, all right, there's got to be a reason for TV to be here. And the reason you set up, oh, you shouldn't come, is for him to then come, but
And
ultimately
prove that
save
he
the
should have
day.
been there.
Right.
Like Daniel Madigan in last section here. Like you always say, stay in the car, but then the kid doesn't stay in the car and he ends up saving the day or gets killed, right?
Right.
This is the trope for the movie. So if he's going to come, he's got to have a heroic
do
moment.
something.
He got shot.
He doesn't do anything. He accomplishes nothing.
He got shot. So we
He
felt
got
bad
shot,
for
but
him.
he
He
didn't.
shot a guy.
There was
He
no
delayed.
reason for him to be there.
He delayed the explosion just long enough for her to get everybody out. That's the closest. But yeah,
Even that's a
blows
bit of a
up.
stretch.
Because he killed the guy that was fumbling with the wires.
The guy who was gonna
right.
plunge it.
What's pretty awesome is what happens when the church blows up.
Best death ever in the movie. the bell comes flying slow motion to him, and he looks at it, and he's like,
Right as he gets
like
in the
he's got a
Jeep.
magnet in his forehead.
Wears
just
it as a
attracting
hat.
his
"Where is
bell.
it in a hat?"
He's got a
And
magnet in his forehead.
Freaking, they should have caught to one of the guys with like the laser guidance thing on. It's like locked, and then like the bell just boom.
Do me a favor. You want to have some fun.
man.
Go watch Iron Eagle 3 and pause it right in the shot before the bell hits him. They have this dummy sitting there, and it's so obvious. He's got like the Kevin McAllister, like face thing going, right? And they had strings attached to the hands, so there would be movement in the shot. It wouldn't just be a stationary dummy, where they draw the strings and the dummy's hands come up to his face, like Kevin McAllister, right before the bell hits him. And it's
Hilarious.
if you go frame by frame right there, you'll have some of the biggest laughs of your entire life.
I missed that and still laughed out loud at him dying.
It's so cheesy.
So funny.
It's great. And then there's like, nice hat. TV's only good line in the whole thing.
Nice hat.
It cuts, and there's a bell. All the dudes, just his legs are sticking out from underneath his bell.
blood
There's,
running down
One
him.
thing of blood
Yes.
running down. Oh my gosh.
Oh, so
Poor Escobar or whatever his name was.
It's a sad moment.
So the English guy's been shot down, presumed dead at this point. The two bad guys that are left, the general from the United States and Kleiss himself,
Yeah.
have now gotten airborne. One is in a big giant plane.
Yeah.
What was the sea?
I wish I knew what that plane was too.
It was
The
a big
IMDb
cargo
failed,
plane, but I
but
don't
it was
know
a big
what it
cargo
is.
I don't remember. Yeah, big cargo plane.
I think it
And-
might have been in Air America.
The other one was the Messerschmitt 23,
263.
263.
The
Which
plane
does
that
not
was
exist.
supposed to win the war for Germany.
Yeah. That was nowhere near anything German.
That was not a real thing.
No, that was, it's a real plane.
Messer-
Bert
yeah.
Rutan's this amazing, he died now, but amazing airplane designer from Scaled Composite, and it's called the Ares.
Oh, so it wasn't Germany had this awesome fighter jet they were just about to unveil
No.
before they lost?
No, especially not. It
They
would
probably did,
made that way.
but it wouldn't have looked like that.
Fair enough.
It was a cool plane.
It looked like a stealth bomber.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Nah.
Too many wing pieces.
Yeah.
Front,
Too many flappy things.
little front wings.
Yeah.
The way that they're so the first one, so the general in his big giant cargo plane is just making fun of these guys constantly, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're just, he keeps saying the word. Oh, they're just driving these, or what was he calling them?
Antique.
Shit
No,
bags or
shit, yeah, some shit.
something,
Yeah.
right? And ha ha ha, and Sue is all shot up. And well, what'd you feel about the kamikaze
I
run, or
thought
the
it was a
decision
little
to do that?
tacky.
Was that a little bit
I thought it was tacky.
in poor taste?
Yes, I thought so.
Like, oh, he's the Japanese guy, so he's
Yeah.
got to run a kamikaze
Well,
run.
he brought back his honor, right?
Yeah.
That's the
That's
only
what I
honorable
said.
thing to do.
So
Very stereotypical.
I've read a lot about World
I
War II,
saw
and
that, I'm like,
especially
that's
Pacific
very-
campaign.
Yeah.
It was
Stereotypical.
Yeah, it
No
was
bueno.
bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
He's the only one that dies out of all of them.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Too, they killed the minority guy.
That's not okay.
No, because the British guy finds out it's alive somehow.
Right. There he is down here, and
Well, he was parachuting down.
Nigel.
Oh well, we
Yeah,
missed
He had
it.
parachuted out, and then he was going to shoot.
Well, that was the German
parachute.
guy.
Yeah, the German guy was going to. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
it was
that's
the brother.
right.
It was the brother.
So we find out that Kleiss and the German guy are brothers,
yeah.
and so they have a little bit of a dogfight. But Kleiss wins because he's got to eject, and right as he's about to shoot his parachuting brother, Chappy shows up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Now he's got work to do.
And this first line, the first thing he says to Chappy when he sees him, Kleiss goes, "Hardly the Aryan ideal, are you?"
Right, because he
Yeah.
could see him.
Yeah,
Because he could see him in the other airplane.
he's a bad Nazi.
he's a black guy. What the heck?
Black pilot, you guys.
Hey,
He's
everyone.
a bad Nazi. I don't know if you know this, James, but Nazis didn't like black people.
Oh no, I knew that for sure. Oh yeah, right. Well, they did.
That's famous.
They're famously.
Strangely enough, they
intolerant.
were okay with Asians. There's a whole theory there's a whole like backstory about Aryans going to Asia to inform them about stuff. Yeah.
Well, they exchange this amazing line of dialogue. Kleiss has got position on Chappy, and he goes, "I smell the kill." Chappy goes, "What you smell is in your pants. Get a whiff of this."
Super boost.
Super boost.
does a full loop.
I'm
to
pretty
get in
sure that
behind
plane
him.
could not fly that fast.
That plane picked up 300 miles an hour.
I'm pretty positive there's no way
And
that
still
would have
wouldn't-
stayed together or that Chappie could have controlled it.
But he picked up 300 miles an hour and in no way at all approached the cruise speed of that jet.
No.
No.
So, but he gets behind
And
him.
his face, his face was blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
I'm like, how come there's wind
And
in the
it's like he
cockpit now?
blacked out too
Yeah, he
when he
did.
was
He did.
Doing the
G.
climb, yeah.
This guy used to fly fighter jets, right? And he can't handle the G loading of this thing.
It's something that's not even the cruising speed of the jets he flew.
And what's great is he's able to shoot down Kleiss, who then parachutes, and he's like, oh, dang it, he got out. But he lands right where Anna is. Like,
How much you want for that Jeep? 6 figures, 7 figures?
he's trying to buy the Jeep
Had
off
you not
of her.
seen Anna before?
Well, I think he has.
I think he is.
I think he had too.
In the beginning, I think they'd shown
Maybe
that.
not, but I thought so.
But she sees, like, part of
red
me wanted to
tags
think
for
like the
these
red
things.
tags with his
I know.
Conan the Barbarian style trap. Part of me wanted to believe that as he's floating down his parachute, she's just assembling this trap really quickly.
Right between
All
them.
I gotta
between
say
them, right?
is, if you're living in this area and going for a walk, you better watch yourself.
Yeah, seriously.
Watch the
Definitely.
ground.
He ends up impaled on this trap. Like,
That was very Indiana
I would
Jones
assume
too.
that would be his
Beginning.
trap.
that's what.
It would
yeah.
have to be his trap.
Or he
people.
he contracted that out. I feel
Yeah.
like probably.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think
he
was
kind of. Well, that's where I'm like, this is Three
Like the
Amigos,
cable installation
right?
truck, but they put in traps.
Yeah, right.
Around your house.
Exactly. That's
right.
exactly it. Yeah.
This is like Three Amigos. He took over this town and like
I
even
know.
had the church, and so they're like, finally, we're gonna fight our own personal El Guapo.
This is exact. It's and for you guys, your El Guapo is an ex-Nazi who
Ex-Nazi
wants to kill you.
Wants to kill you and sell drugs around the world.
All right, we got to get to the awards. They have this wrap-up hoedown scene where they're all dressed like cowboys. And
Yes,
Yes.
I did like
TV's
Kleiss'
burning
death.
all the
I thought
food.
Kleiss' death was good.
that was good.
It was cathartic.
It was.
Yeah,
It was good.
Sufficiently cathartic.
Yes.
So it's time to give out some awards to Iron Eagle 3, and we start as always with the Will Patton Award for intensity. Ryan, please bring me the head of Will Patton.
The head of Will Patton.
It's Velcroed on the wall.
Yeah, we get dark quick around here. We kidnapped Will Patton.
Thank you.
Here we go.
There it is.
Twins.
There it is.
Twins, guys. Look
That's
at this.
right.
Look at
You can't
that.
even see
The
it.
first award is the Will Patton Award for intensity. Okay? Because nobody did intensity like Will Patton.
No one
No one.
in the
And
history
so
of film.
Whoever was the most intense in this movie gets to win the award in the honor of this man right here. And so, guys, who would you say took their role the most seriously? That even though they were in Iron Eagle 3, you could tell they were going for it. Who was your nominee for the Will Patton Award?
Starting down here.
Yeah, you can start with you,
Over
Ryan.
here. I am going to go with Fred Thompson.
Fred Thompson.
Fred
Senator Thompson.
Senator Thompson.
That's right. He,
All right.
That's right. He almost ran for president.
He
almost did.
He almost did, for sure. Clint, who you got?
I'm going to go with the little girl that he was rapping to because I thoroughly 100% believe that she thought
Not
he
a
was
bad
douche
choice.
and just like,
Yeah,
I'm
you
out of
could-
here.
she
Bye.
could
See
sell
it in her
that.
eyes.
Fair enough.
That is a good pick.
Yeah.
You guys are not gonna like me,
Oh, no. Go ahead.
but I'm gonna
So
go
no
with,
change.
I'm going with TV.
TV?
He brought it every
did.
scene.
He did.
Was convinced. I was
Be the
convinced
stereotypical
he was a
inner city
homeboy
black
from
guy.
the hood
Yeah.
who sold
The
TVs.
guy from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody?
That guy.
The home guy,
I think
homeboy from
TV
South Central Brownsville.
He was not intense.
He was intense.
Wasn't it?
He was intense. He was all over that
He was
role.
comedic relief. Man.
He was good. He was intense.
Well, the good news is he's not going to win because I'm going
My
with
legs, I
Senator
can't feel
Thompson
my legs.
as well. So Fred Thompson.
Fred Thompson wasn't intense.
Yeah.
He was
himself.
He took it. He wasn't himself. He took it seriously. He was the rich stockbroker who owned an air show.
TV owned that role. I believed he was. I believed he was.
I believed
from
he was
the
as
hood.
useless as they presented him to be.
I
yes.
believed he was from the hood. He's like the Jar Jar Binks of the
Is there
movie.
anything like lower than Wish? Because he wasn't even Wish Eddie Murphy.
All right.
My
now
legs. I can't feel my legs.
We have our very Clint. Could you do me a favor and please set up our trash can full of dirt?
I shall do my best.
This is the official ceremony of the trash can full of dirt, the award that we give out to the actor who did the worst. I don't know how else to explain it. The person with the least amount of range.
Yes.
The person with the range of a trash can full of dirt.
Do we have music? We should
Ta-da.
have music for unveiling this.
Label out. Label out. This is a high production value operation we're
Yeah,
running
I like
around
that we
here.
put it on a metal chair.
Yeah.
All right.
Here it is.
Well, the cart's still in being built. I guess.
We'll start on that. And Clint, who's your trash can winner?
My trash can winner is TV.
TV.
No way.
TV,
TV was Will Patton.
unbelievably. It was a toss-up between TV and her. She at least. The physique and everything. There was a lot of.
You gave her credit for her shape.
You have to, because she was dedicated to that. At least she was not dedicated to delivering roles.
Bionic bicep gets the edge.
Yeah, exactly. If TV was cut, it would have been gone the other way. Maybe.
All right, Charles.
I went with Rachel McLish. Even though she was a McDish, she was a bad actress.
You were into her, right? That's surprising to me.
Look, I think she tried. I think she legitimately tried to act.
Oh,
which is what makes it even sadder. Is how bad she was.
I'm going with Rachel as well, and I don't think effort was the issue.
No, she's just a bad actress.
There's some people that mail it in. You're like, he did terrible.
She tried hard.
She seemed like she was trying, and she was still terrible.
I think she made like 3 movies.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. This was about it for her.
Our buddy TV went on. He did a lot of stuff.
Tons of stuff.
TV did stuff.
But yeah, it's the second one. So who do you got?
Well, my initial thought was everybody not named Fred Thompson. But let's give it to Rachel McDish here.
Yeah, okay.
Because
sorry, Rachel. I know it looked like you were trying. Okay.
Yeah.
And so kudos to you. You went out there, gave it the old college try.
Hey,
but
you got in a professionally made movie with John Glenn.
And now tens of people will be seeing this every year.
People.
All right, guys. Let's do our next category. We do is our top 3 performances.
Wait, did you give yours?
Yeah. Rachel McLish.
Oh, okay.
3 votes for
3
Rachel.
For her.
3.
Yeah, this is subjective. This is not who was the best. This is who we enjoyed the most. So your subjective top 3 performances.
My top 3 performances right here.
Yeah.
This is Iron Eagle 3, Aces, Iron Eagle 3.
Aces, Iron Eagle 3.
Okay. So the air show owner.
Okay, Thompson.
Loved the guy.
Thompson.
He was awesome.
Yep.
Chappy.
Yeah.
John Glenn.
John Glenn.
Legitimately, this guy made this movie look so much better than the others.
Yeah,
airplane
that's fair.
Filming on this, even
good.
the toy airplane filming, it was fantastic. They did a much better job in production on this.
For sure.
Okay.
He made this more enjoyable than it would have been
Definitely.
shot in the vein of the original 2 movies.
Awesome. Who's
All
your
right,
top 3?
So I have kind of a toss up. I think I'm gonna go with Mitchell Ryan, the General.
Okay.
Paul Freeman I thought was fine, but he wasn't in it as much, so I'm going to go with Mitchell.
Okay.
Mitchell Ryan. Fred Thompson, number 2. Stockman, he's great, as everyone said. And then Lou Gossett.
Lou Gossett.
Lou Gossett.
The number one
he's
vote.
effortless. He's a good actor. He makes the movie.
Yeah, he's Chappy Sinclair. I went with Lou Gossett number 1 also. I mean, at this point, he is kind of phoning it in with Chappy, but there was still
that's his franchise.
those moments of
But
gravitas.
him phoning it in is better than like everyone except the guys we've mentioned.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He phoned it in for most of the movie, but then he turns it on once in a while, like for like the.
His great
Get a
speech
whiff
I
of
was going to
this. I'm
have.
getting
I thought
too
his
old for
speech
this
to
shit.
Stockman was really good. You want to hear it?
What's that?
His speech to Stockman I thought was pretty well written.
Okay.
He says, "Damn, Arthur, men like you helped to build this country, and men like me helped to defend it. Now I'm ready to risk my career and my life for what I believe in. Come on, Arthur, take a risk. Cocaine is killing our country." This is why I'm telling you, this is a DEA
Yeah, I think you're right,
commercial.
man.
And then he says, "Take a risk.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to have a nice story to tell your grandchildren? Something more than beating out other wildcatters or finagling bond market, wouldn't you?" That's a good written line.
No, it's
and he
good.
delivered it well, and that's how I'm like, this is Chappie at his fine, or Lou Gossett at his fine.
That's when he was trying to convince him to let him use the old planes. Right?
Which
Yeah.
I wonder, we should have had a scene at the end of him being super pissed that he
That they blew up
3
half
of
of
They
them.
gave him a whole fleet of F-88s.
Oh, that's right. F-86.
So he promised he'd have him back without a scratch on them.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Fail.
All right.
Failed that.
So I had Lou Gossett number 1. I had Sonny Chiba at number 2, and I liked Fred Thompson, but I had Christopher Krasnov, I think is how you say his name.
I don't think it has that
was
upturn at the end.
Nigel, no, probably
That
not.
accent.
It's the British guy. I liked him in general. He's
was
also in A
entertaining.
Knight's Tale, which is a
didn't like
movie that I really like a lot. So, who's your top 3, Ryan?
Man, I didn't have Chappie in any of this.
No.
He phoned it in way too much. I think, yeah,
I
you're right.
acknowledge that.
There
I
were some
acknowledge
of
that.
those moments, but they're less and less in
No,
the
you're
first 2 movies.
right.
So
You're right.
actually, I had Fred Thompson number 1.
Yep.
Okay, all
Fred's
right.
always good.
TV, I had TV.
All
in there.
right. He was intense. I like TV.
Not because he's
enjoyed him,
intense,
you
just
enjoyed him.
because I like to laugh at him because I thought he's so ridiculous.
I thought a few of his like. He's a heavy homeboy from the hood.
He's a heavy homeboy from the hood.
All right.
And
Who's
then
your number
as
three?
bad as she was, I had Rachel McLish.
Oh my God.
The double gun, no recoil, nothing, firing double
double
ARs.
Into the ceiling. Yeah, that was great.
I mean, she wasn't bad to watch. I would agree.
It should just be some fiberglass ceiling tile chunks falling down.
Actually, her muscle acting was quite impressive. That she could go
very
from
impressive with the
bam,
bionic
guns come out when she needs them.
Can we just seal this thing right now and just say Arnold as Anna? Like Arnold should have just put a wig on him. I mean, it's basically.
there's really no other option.
The line reading would have been,
about
better.
Just set
A
it
little
in
better.
Austria.
Yeah,
better for sure.
Just
Arnold's a decent
set it in
actor.
Austria. Have Arnold play the character of Anna. It's
right.
Instantly a 4-7 at least.
Right? Arnold is there. He's got his long black curly hair wig on. He's got the same halter top. And he's standing there next to Lou Gossett Jr.
Yeah.
I guess we both learned something about each other, didn't we? Yes, we did.
You a sexy man.
That's right.
Now go do it now.
They've got my father. Oh my gosh. They basically were just trying. She was Miss Olympia. He's, obviously famously Mr. Olympia.
Right.
They were just trying to, I don't know if this was supposed to be a star vehicle where they're trying to make her into the next big thing. That's kind of what I got from this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is that they're like, oh, what if, they plucked Arnold out of obscurity. We can pluck this bodybuilder out of obscurity and put her in some movies and maybe she'll be the next big thing.
Right.
The problem is Arnold wasn't just a body.
No.
Okay. Is he also had just loads of charisma and he worked his tail off.
Yeah.
I mean, she obviously did at bodybuilding, but at being a good actor and being good at all kinds of different facets of his performance.
Charisma's an interesting thing because she didn't have much of that. But why does Arnold have that? I don't know.
It's just his
Why did he?
personality.
I wonder honestly if some of it's that maybe we struggle a little bit with
with big women.
yoked women.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, I don't think it's that. But if she had an accent, maybe.
Maybe.
Legitimately, I don't know. Some of it is, listen to Germans talk, listen to the English people talk,
Right.
stuff like that. It's like they can say the same things we do, and it's just better. I don't know why.
No, for sure.
It is, but it's like,
For sure.
you got a decent accent. It's like, I want to listen to you read the freaking phone book. This
Right.
is
I'll
gonna be
listen to
fantastic.
Australians all day.
And tell me they wouldn't have sold more tickets if the poster was Arnold in drag with Lou Gossett Jr., Iron Eagle 3. Come on.
This thing would have made $3 million in the theater.
Easy.
I mean, John Candy liked to dress up as
All right, we have to ultimately give this thing a rating. So what we do here on Bad Movies Rules, we decide if it's either, we try to be objective and subjective at the same time, right? So we have to say, objectively, is this, as a piece of art, as a film, is this a good or bad movie?
Bad.
Or then subjectively, did we enjoy it, right? So it's either straight up good, it's just a bad movie, full stop, or we think it's a bad movie that rules because we were entertained by it. So Clint, we'll start down at that end. What do you got?
Subjectively, this is a bad movie. It's
You mean
not
objectively?
Sorry. Objectively, this is a bad movie. This isn't a trash bad movie, but it is a bad movie.
bad movie.
And it rules. I enjoy it. This is entertaining. It's fun to watch. This is a bad movie that rules.
There you
It's
go.
bad. They said it's bad. It's bad. We enjoy it, or I enjoy it anyway. Sorry, these guys might not. It rules.
All right. There you go. Charles, where you at on this one, buddy?
it's a bad movie, made bad. It's not a good movie.
No.
I don't think I'd ever watch this again.
No. Oh.
I will say I was surprised it was as good as it was.
Yeah.
This is definitely better than any of the other sequels. I think it's on par with the original, which again was a bad movie that rules. It's a bad movie that rules. It's on par with the entertainment value of the first. The story in the first one is better. The shots and cinematography in this one is better.
Well, I think the movie making it's better.
Let's not forget the first Iron
story
Eagle
is
had
terrible.
the same shot of the same balsa wood plane blowing up over and over
awesome.
again.
I was probably, this is a bad movie that rules until the upside down cockpit scene.
Stop it.
See that?
I just was like, no, it's just too stupid.
It's not realistic, but it's entertaining.
But the movie wasn't that way completely till that point. It was just too.
So Charles, let me tell you this. For me, I mean, this is a bad movie, okay, objectively. But that was the moment where it shifted for me the other direction,
way, yeah.
where I'm like, this movie was awesome.
This is a bad movie that Charles Charles is wrong about.
It's possible. I can't go that slapstick all of a sudden.
No, I hear you.
When the rest of it hadn't been that way.
To me, it's a bad movie that rules. That's bad. Easily.
I'm sorry to say, because I like the old planes.
And much better from 2. Maybe I think it rules because we're coming off of 2, and 2 was such a low point.
I honestly don't remember anything about 2.
Exactly. It makes 3 look better.
There was the Russian MiGs, remember?
The Russian MiGs.
Yes. Look, here's the other thing.
Cooper?
I will say
How could you forget Cooper?
Oh, Cooper. Look.
Cooper.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's a better movie than the fact that you can't find it anywhere.
That's true.
I think more people should have the option to watch this bad movie.
Well, the DVD is cheap on Amazon. I think I got it for $5, or you can find it on at least. I don't even want to say it because it changes. You could hear this 3 years from now, and who knows where it is at that point.
Who knows what it's going to be?
Google it, baby.
It'll be on friggin'.
All right, where am I at? Well, we always know that this is someone's favorite movie out there,
That's
right?
right.
This take might get us some tear-stained hate mail. But this thing is runny dog on a brand new white carpet.
Ryan, how do you really feel, man? How do you really feel?
Oh, man. White carpet even. Not even just regular white carpet.
The kind when you get home from work and you're just like, come on.
Yes.
Your dog got in the chili peppers.
Oh, man.
Couldn't wait for you to get home.
I don't think it's that bad,
Terrible.
just to be clear.
There's moments of
That is a graphic image.
enjoyability. I will say
You're
it's
never getting it
definitely
out of the
better
white.
than 2.
Better than 2.
But
I will fight you for your vote.
Hey, well, look, we're split. We got 2 and 2. That's fine.
Did we have
Send
anybody
in your
playing from home,
tear-stained
James?
We
hate
did not.
mail. This show's trash. Gmail.
Because no one can find this movie. That's why they can't play from home.
It's hard to see.
It's disappointing that you got to go to something called Kino.
Well, next week I think it'll be a little bit of an easier movie for people to find, at least. So if you want to watch along with us this next week, you can get on the TV, strap in for some Small Soldiers. The
that's that
action
little
figure
little
movie.
action figure.
I like how we all act surprised. at the
Tommy
next
Lee
movie is.
Jones.
I didn't.
We don't
Okay.
know.
I don't know.
Small
We didn't look at the list.
I don't look at stuff.
Young Kirsten Dunst is in that movie. Tommy Lee Jones is in that movie. Phil Hartman plays.
How can this
How
be
can
bad?
this be bad?
How
Exactly.
How can this be
How
bad?
is this a bad
We're about
movie?
to find
We're
out.
about to find out whether or not it is. So
I
join
bet
us next
Tommy
week.
Lee Jones is a general figure.
He's the military guy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So come on, you can't beat Small Soldiers. If you haven't, I haven't seen it.
I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it
since.
for a
Never seen
long
it.
I've seen
Never
it, but
seen
it's
it.
like it's been a hot minute. So
Interesting.
I remember almost nothing. It'll be like coming in clean. So I'm excited for it.
I had never seen this movie.
Well, there you go, and can't wait for Iron Eagle 4.
4.
That's right.
Here's hoping.
The last one. Sidney Fury comes back. The guy that directed the first two
yeah, I
comes
saw
back.
it. This is the only movie he
and
didn't direct.
directs number 4.
That's terrible.
Doug
would
Masters
they
is
do
back
that?
in number
What?
4.
Yeah,
Same guy,
Doug
different guy, though.
Masters.
Different actor. They couldn't get
All right.
Jason Gedrick to come back for it.
Guaranteed
His
better.
career took off. He's like, no.
Did they actually
we're
get
good.
to fight Air Force planes in this?
I don't know. We have to wait and see
to
for
see.
Iron Eagle 4.
All
We'll
right.
do that 2 years from today.
I know you can find it. We do need breaks between Iron Eagles.
105 episodes from
So
now.
we'll see. Thank you guys for joining us. On behalf of Clint Bush and Charles Hewitt and Ryan Mueller, I'm James Hauser. Thank you guys for listening.
This
Are
was,
you gonna make up a verse for every from now on? You just said a
No,
verse.
you gotta-
You cannot put the genie back in the bottle.
you got to wrap it.
My name is Chappy, and I'm here to say we're gonna fly planes in an illegal way.
Our planes are so slow we can fight jets. Because the movie sucks. Do you know it was the only R-rated Iron Eagle movie?
Oh, jeez.
Was it?
For what?
Yeah. I was wondering that too.
It's for the nips.